Hello, magic makers. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this reading is for you. A transmission through the Serpent Gate, a page in the Codex, and perhaps a message you were meant to remember. Before we begin, please light the fire and hit the like button. Every like you leave is a torch lit along the spiral road. Every comment is a sigil etched into the vault of echoes. And if this message resonates, consider subscribing and joining our journey through the temple. If there is anything you wish for me to hold in light or carry into the temple with you, prayer, protection, or intention, speak it below. Now, these readings are not predictions, they are transmissions, and I am merely the messenger. The meaning is yours to uncover. Open the temple within and listen for what echoes back, because the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we have an 8 of Wands. This is kind of anxious, I feel there's a lot of pent-up energy. I feel like you're doing your best to stay calm and to stay patient. I feel like you're somebody who is kind of bursting at the seams, like you're ready to go. You kind of got the jazz hands, You're sort of tap dancing on the shag carpet. There's something that seems to be kind of holding your energy in. This is internal pressure going outward, yeah? And sometimes it feels like anxiety. Sometimes it feels like we want to move, but maybe we can't. Or we don't know which direction, okay? We take 2 steps forward, we take 2 steps back. We turn a little bit to the side, we take 2 steps forward, we take 2 steps back. Burning a lot of calories, right? But we're not actually moving anywhere. So I think that it sort of feels right now like you're stuck, okay? And being stuck makes us feel like we're being squeezed, makes us feel like I gotta get out of here. I don't care which direction I go, but I can't stay here. And so it's very difficult to maintain calm, peace, and, patient energy. Spirit wants to assure you that energy is moving, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Okay? I think that there's a lot of energy moving inside of you, maybe under the surface. There is a lot of things that are happening. Even if you feel kind of anxious and you want things to open up, you want things to hurry, you want there to be kind of a clear path for you. Okay. Let's put this card into a little bit of context and let's see what is going on. We have a 4 of Swords. Breathe, right? Try to stay calm. Know that, your mind can be, you can do your breathing exercises, right? Stay patient, stay calm, relax your mind. Under the surface is a lot of energy that's taking place. Okay, a lot of energy is moving. There we have a 9 of Swords. There's the feeling like it's uncomfortable to be standing still. Yeah. We have a Builder, Prince of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, and a 3 of Pentacles. Very good. Things are going to start progressing. Okay. We have a 5 of Swords. We have the Libra energy, the adjustment card, the Ace of Pentacles, and a Princess. Now, the Princess is free-flowing, right? I want you to close your eyes. I want you to breathe, right? 4 of Swords. I want you to imagine water carrying you forward. How's that feel? Okay? Energy is moving under the surface here. But right now, I think that there feels like there's a nudge from Spirit, And I think you need to really pay attention to those little nudges. Things feel stuck. This is a very difficult feeling, okay? This is that uncomfortable feeling. You ever get that feeling where it's like every shirt you put on just feels uncomfortable? It's one of those kinds of days, where everything that we're doing or not doing just feels like it's just too scratchy or uncomfortable or irritates our skin. There's a hypersensitivity here, okay? And it really is that anxiety that we kind of have with that 8 of Wands. These 2 cards together kind of make it feel like everything I do just kind of rubs me the wrong way, you know? Like I'm rubbing myself the wrong way, if you will. But I think that there is a lot that's taking place. Things feel stuck, but things are actually moving for you, okay? A lot of signs are pointing toward change. Pay attention to the little nudges. Pay attention to the signs, the symbols, and the synchronicities. Let them carry you forward like water. That is our Princess of Cups. Okay? I think there is a conversation that's going to bring you some unexpected guidance. Okay? I think that more clarity is going to arrive for you when you slow down. Okay? Even the Five of Swords as your general energy is mental stress. The challenge, the obstacle for you is to calm down. It's to breathe, okay? Clarity is going to come when you slow down. Abundance is going to build where you feel safe. You've got to fortify your mind. You've got to do your breathing exercises. You've got to relax. I think you're kind of getting those jazz hands, you know? Calm, bring them together in front of you. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes and imagine the water carrying you away, all right? Because I think that is where, when you feel fortified, when you feel stable and you feel safe, that's where things are really going to appear in their clarity, and that's when you're going to be making the higher wisdom and discernment decisions. You can't make good choices when you're it's kind of like your sympathetic nervous system is ramped way up. You got to bring it down. Breathing exercise. You are being guided. And it's sometimes difficult to trust in that. We get anxious because it's like, I feel like things are out of my control. I feel I have no say in anything. We're going to calm down. We're going to use this Four of Swords. This is the obstacle card. This is the battle. The battle for you is to relax, okay? And to believe and to trust and to accept that you are being guided. So you can calm this energy down and you can see the signs. You can perceive those nudges from spirit, you know, the signs that are pointing you toward your decisions, okay, that you need to make now. So let's draw the hidden key from the codex, the unseen cipher, the one truth yet unrevealed. This is a card pulled at random, a fragment of the codex beyond the known spread. It represents the factor infinite and unknown, what the watchers have not yet allowed us to see. And we're going to set it down right over here with Bubo the mechanical owl right on top. And we're not going to release that kraken until the end of the transmission, but when we do, it will bring all the threads together. It will confirm the prophecy and close the current page of the codex. If you feel the pulse of intuition, if the dove current is whispering to you, tell me what you sense. Leave a comment. What do you think the hidden key will reveal? Now, as we look around the room, we really see one major arcana card, the Adjustment, the card of higher wisdom and discernment, card of choices, the card of valuing things, weighing the options, trying to discern which path or which choice or which option out of all these many options should I choose? You know, which door should I open? What should I do right now? You know, what is the next step for me? We feel stuck in the middle because we feel that every option is a viable option. Problem is we have too many choices, you know. And we say, well, I'm going to go that way. No. I'm going to go that way. Nope, not that way. And we're starting to get kind of like, we're starting to panic a little bit. We're starting to get sweaty. We need to calm down. We need to breathe, okay? And in the clarity, in the stillness of your mind, you will get the signal, you'll get the confirmation, the sign pointing you toward what direction to take. Right now, your life is all about some sort of a decision or some sort of valuation. You're trying to give more weight to something than other things. But the problem is everything feels the same. Everything feels equal. Well, that is what we see here, right? This is the compass rose. Every single direction, every point on the compass seems like it could be a good idea. I don't know. This is when one choice obviously is outweighing the rest. And you're able to, in real time, assign value to things. You are judging something's value, not its intrinsic value, but its relative value for you in that moment. Okay? What are you going to have for dinner? Mexican food or Indian food, right? Not which one is inherently better or objectively better or intrinsically better. You have your opinions, I'm sure. Let me know in the comments what cuisine you enjoy. It's about the relative value. What weighs more to you in this moment? And if we're sitting there panicking and thinking, I don't know, well, that's the first problem. We got to calm that energy down, okay? So anyway, that's our major. We have our fire right here in the middle, and that is you're bursting with this fire energy because you're ready to go. You want to go. You want to get a move on because things feel kind of stuck, you know. You want to get a move on, but we can't as long as we're in that sort of that ramped up sympathetic nervous system state. Yeah. So anyway, fire. We've got water and water, air and air, earth, or well, we have the three airs. We have earth, earth, and earth. So what that tells me, because we have 3 airs and 3 earth cards, it tells me that this situation is in the mind, that it's a mental dilemma, because it feels like you're kind of in a pickle. You can't decide something, basically, right? Having trouble deciding. Feeling that we have to get a move on, but we can't choose right now, okay? So we feel kind of stuck, and maybe it really feels like not that each path is equally available, but maybe it feels like every door is locked. Then we're really starting to panic. There are all these doors, but I can't get through any of them. We feel kind of stuck. We feel trapped, okay? We need to calm that energy down. I don't know, I kind of feel like this is a movie or something, right? If we calm ourselves down, we close our eyes, we breathe, we get centered, I think the path we're supposed to take will reveal itself to us. And I don't know what this is for you. Maybe it is about what you're going to have for dinner, okay? Sometimes I panic when I'm trying to decide what to eat. But it could be about a lot of things. It could be that you're making a major life decision, okay? It could be that this is really like, oh, geez, what am I going to do for the next, 5 years, 10 years? What am I going to do for the rest of my life? What am I going to do now? Okay. Anyway, so the four of Swords is the blockage. This is the battle. Okay. This is the hard challenge or the test for you. Calming yourself down. The 4 of Swords is the box breathing. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and etc. I kind of feel like this needs to be changed a little bit. I don't feel like 4, 4, 4, 4 is the right kind of breathing sometimes. Do what works for you, okay? I'm not giving any kind of advice on breathing. I don't always do such a good job of it myself, but I like to breathe in a little bit quicker and then do a slow breath out. So if I go in for 4, I'm going to go out for 8, okay? But whatever works for you. The idea here is to extend the out breath longer than the in breath, okay? Anyway, your preference, but that's the idea that we need to focus on right now. And I think just doing that, we already feel a little bit more calm, yeah. I think that this is a card of getting centered. This is a card of meditation. This is the card of like trying to block out, it's like a magical circle of protection around you. Blocking out, banishing all of the unwanted energies, banishing everything. Okay? You get out that big bundle of sage and just start smudging everything. Even the good energy, everything get out of the room. It's like when you're in your spare room or something and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. You don't just start bringing in like your canvas and your easel and your paints and your drum set and stuff. First, you got to clear everything out of the room. Everything out. Even the stuff that you want in there. First, you make it a blank slate. Okay? It's kind of like the mind. It's the aura. It's the temple. It's the ritual space. It's the room you're in. Get rid of everything. Clean it up all the way. Vacuum the floor. Wash the walls. Okay? Really clear everything out of it. And then you can decide what you want to bring in. And you bring in one thing intentionally and you set it down. You say, that's perfect. Now, what's next? Bring in the next thing. So think about that in very practical terms. You're cleaning out one particular room in your house. Yeah. Well, you've got to do that mentally, I think, as well. Right? And maybe it helps to sort of clear the space in front of you at the same time. Clear your desk. Open up a fresh journal, turn to a new page in your journal, right? If you have a desk, or if you're sitting at a desk, or if you're in your room, or wherever you are right now, declutter it. That's a good practice too. Wherever you are, declutter that space the best you can. Okay, you don't have to move the furniture out or anything, but the best you can to declutter it. Because we're trying to invoke a sense of peacefulness here, a sense of calm, a sense of relaxation. Okay? Because there feels like there's a sense of urgency here. Feels like there is something that you need to decide quickly, or you feel a pressure. You're putting the pressure on yourself, though, to hurry up and do something, right? Maybe in this case, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So we want to hurry up and get somewhere. Maybe we got to slow down. We'll get there faster if we take it slow, right? And I think that's about it. How can you slow your life down? Okay? And I think that's the perfect thing right now. Declutter the space you're in. Turn off all noises. You can leave this video on. In fact, I recommend leaving the videos on as often as you can. But you could turn the volume down low if you want. You can turn the brightness on your phone down, or your TV, or whatever, your tablet. Or if you're in the car and you're parked somewhere safe, you could turn the volume down a little bit. And close your eyes and breathe. Okay? And imagine the water carrying you forward. Nice, gentle, like you're on just a little inner tube. You're on a lazy river. Yeah. And it's just, it makes me want to just lie down and keep doing that meditation. Got to be careful with that. I'll fall asleep right here. But that's the obstacle. I think you're someone that finds it difficult to relax. That's exactly what you need to do right now. Beneath the surface is that nasty 9 of swords. This is a misery multiplier. Okay? All of the 9s are kind of multipliers. Yeah, they compound, they're exponential. So you don't want to exponentially grow this kind of anxiety or misery. So this is that part of your soul that's kind of like, this is something that's echoing. This is something that you feel inside of you. And it keeps kind of crying out to you and saying, we can't exist in this state anymore. Okay? Especially with these two, this is pretty bad. Okay? And this is someone that's really suffering from anxiety. And I know what that's like. I've had anxiety my entire life, social anxiety, just general, right? General anxiety. And, this is something that if we don't find some sort of protocol or methods or rituals or, habits that can help us, a way to regulate that, we're gonna continue to feel worse and worse and worse and worse. So this is that part of your soul right now that's telling you something needs to change. Okay? We want to start multiplying our happiness, not our sadness. Okay? We got to get on the path of feeling better, not feeling worse. Okay? And I think that there are some very practical things that you're going to start doing that are going to start working. I feel like things are going to start flowing again. Progress is going to start happening. But the clarity that you get when you slow down, when you breathe, okay, that's when you're really going to hear that this reality. And sometimes this is why we're so anxious and so active and so busy, because we know that when we slow down and when we quiet our minds down a little bit, this is what we hear. And this doesn't feel good. Okay? These are things, these are like, wounds that we still carry that hurt. As soon as I stop moving my body, I start to feel how sore I am. You know what I mean? It's that feeling. But think of that mentally and emotionally. A lot of the time we distract ourselves with so much because we don't really want to hear what our inner nature is saying to us. Okay? And so the anxiety is because something needs to change. We've got to acknowledge this and say, yeah, okay, some aspect of life needs to be transcended. Okay, sometimes this is that low point that says, okay, now things have to start changing. There's just no other way around it. Can't sink much deeper than that, This is the realization that we don't like being in the birdcage anymore, because what's the next card is the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords to me feels like we've identified the source. It's a slippery card. We've identified the source of this pain, and we're going to break through it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to escape from that kind of, prison. Yeah. We're going to get unstuck. Because this is now, and I think this is a wonderful card. Now, every card has light and shadow. The good news is that you're realizing and acknowledging that you feel this way. And the fact that you feel this way says, now I can start doing something about it. If I don't listen to this and if I don't hear that card from inside my soul, right, then I don't know why. I'm feeling anxious and all this kind of stuff. Once we slow down and we realize it, oh, here it comes. Okay, I don't want to look at you, but you're here, and I'll acknowledge you. Because now we feel some sort of power to do something about this. And then we get the Ten of Swords, which is then we're able to see what is confining us and what's holding us back, and we can break out of that limitation. Okay? It's almost like the Eight of Wands is telling you that you need to escape from something, but you don't know what. That you need to get out of here, and you don't know where. It's kind of there's something inside of you that's saying, I don't care which direction we go, but we can't stay here. And I think if we realize what that is, then we really can start doing something. Okay? Because maybe, especially with the 5 and the 9, I feel like what you really need is to feel peace and calm and safety, stability, because that's how you're going to begin to create abundance in your life. You're going to be able to build your abundance once you feel safe. Okay? So whatever this is that you need to get away from, I think that's going to be one of the biggest relievers of this pressure. And this doesn't have to be a person or a place. It could be an idea. It could be something from your past. Okay? We're going to talk about the builder back here. This is a Prince of Pentacles. Yeah. And sometimes this is a chain. Okay? Sometimes this is something that is binding you. Okay? To the birdcage. Yeah. Something that is, it's a karmic weight. Okay? It's an anchor that you might be carrying with you. And it could be a Taurus person. It could be generally another person in your life. Okay? But this is a fixed earth energy. So to me it feels like there's not enough fluidity in our behaviors, that we're kind of stuck doing the same thing over and over again. This is that stuck kind of card. And maybe it's really that feeling like I want to build something. I want to progress. I want to do more. I want to grow. I want to travel, either literally or figuratively. But I want to keep moving, but I'm stuck in place. Okay? I'm stuck in place. And I think we have to figure out what is it that's keeping us stuck. Okay, and follow those signs so that we can unstuck things. Yeah. So something feels like it's limiting your movements in a way. Yeah. I feel like you want to build. You're ready to build. But something's interfering with that. Okay? And I think essentially you keep coming up against the same obstacles. And at some point, those obstacles have to be realized, acknowledged, and transcended. Yeah, because the fixed earth, in other words, we need more fluid earth energy. And what is the fluid earth energy but the Queen of Pentacles, which is your superpower card? So to me, it feels like this is kind of like saying you got to summon your superpower. You're very adaptable. You can learn your lesson from the past. You're wise. You have a functional knowledge and wisdom. You need to use that now, because this is like you keep trying to fix the thing with the same tool and it doesn't get fixed. Okay, it stays broken. Okay. That fluid earth energy is your ability to sort of improvise and adapt and like understand the problem and, to be able to choose the right tool based on what the problem is. Okay? And now we're kind of connecting these two. Being able to choose the right tool based on the problem rather than thinking, okay, I got a hammer. Let me find the problem that this fits into. You know what I mean? It's like I've got one type of screwdriver. I can only fix things that have that particular Phillips head screw of that size in it. Okay? Instead of looking at the problem thinking, what tool do I need? The Eight of Wands can be a card of creative problem solving. Okay? Realizing that you have other tools in your toolbox that you can use depending on what the problem is. You don't just have one tool and say, well, I hope it fixes this problem. Okay. Now, up above the surface, up top here, you have the Giant. Okay. The Giant now is your untapped power. Yeah. And it's a Five of Cups. It's someone who is very aware of their emotions. The Five of Cups is a card of disappointment. How's that a superpower, right? It's your ability to recognize what should be there, but is not. And you can't force it to be there. Okay? So this is all kind of happening inside this state of clarity as you are able to close your eyes and breathe and imagine water is carrying you forward in a nice gentle flow. Okay? Believing that you are guided. You're beginning to recognize that in this situation that you're in, and I don't know what the situation is. I don't know if this is at home, at work, at school, if it's personal relationships or professional relationships or what. Something should be there, but it's not. And that's just facts. Okay? So your superpower is you recognizing that and being able to take the necessary steps forward and not trying to wish it to be there or force it to be there, but to simply, in a calm way, acknowledge it, to be able to see it and say, okay, it's not there. And that's what's been preventing the progress. That's why things have felt stuck. Okay? So the idea here is that by stepping through the serpent gate, whatever that means for you, taking the necessary steps, making the decision that you need to make, this feels like it's a turning point in your life, is going to allow you to get what's been missing here. You're able to go out and find that. Whatever the missing piece is, 5 plus a 1, obviously you get a 6, right? 6 is success. A 6 is, oh, what's there is exactly what I expected to be there, and then some. So it's kind of the opposite of disappointment, right? It's pleasure and success. You expected something, but it wasn't there. Okay? So you have the opportunity now, depending on what choices you make, to change this 5 of Cups into a 6 of Cups. Okay? This is who you could become, the life that you could have if you make the right choices. You can transform this feeling of disappointment into a feeling of pleasure and success. That makes perfect sense to me. Maybe this is a romantic relationship. Maybe this is a friendship. Maybe this is your career or job situation. In the future position, the Imago. This is kind of your higher self, okay? Your ideal form. This is a card of work. It's Mars in Capricorn. This is really the card of the ball rolling. Yeah. This is the card of you putting in the blood, sweat, and tears to build what you're building. This now is saying that the builder is getting to work. We're getting unstuck. Okay? Because you're invoking your fluid energy, or your Queen of Pentacles, Virgo, superpower, you know, maybe that'll be the mystery card. You're invoking that in order to understand what's going on now so that you can connect these two cards, because right now, these two want to get together and party, or well, let's say work hard, right? They want to get together and get to work, but they're separated by this. They're separated by that. It's a cleft. It is a wedge in between the builder and their work. And I don't just mean your job. I don't mean that. I mean, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to build in your life, whatever your great work is, your magnum opus, or the future that you want to build, or the family you want to build, or the relationship you want to build, the life, okay? The life that you want to build. This is everything that's in the way of that. So stepping through the serpent gate here, making the decisions, taking the step that you need to take. Okay, once you realize what the nature of this obstacle is, this is like a roadblock. Something should be there, but it's not. There's anxiety, there's mental stress, and there may be a deeper like kind of awareness that this is all wrong. So there's a reason why your anxiety is trying to tell you to run in any direction, run far, far away from something. Okay. You want to connect these cards. You want to get back to work. This is something that's not letting you. And the only way to find out what this really is to calm down and do the breathing exercises and declutter the room and do the little visualization that we talked about, to kind of come to that place of stillness and calm so that we can see what it really is. Okay? And you can see how Spirit has been nudging you and trying to guide you toward continued progress. It's time to get back to building. It's time to get back to doing the things that you want to do. Yeah. Path of the Serpent. Now don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join our community here. Become a magic maker. Okay. You're welcome in this temple anytime. Your general energy right now, obviously 5 of Swords. Confusion, questions, mental stress. Mental stress, plain and simple. You're stressed out. Okay. And that stress is really preventing you from seeing the right pathway, from knowing what the next step is to take. So the first step, obviously, is stress reduction. Calm. Go out in nature. Go sit by a little bubbling brook, or whatever, a babbling brook. Hopefully it's not bubbling. You know, just go lay under the shade of a tree or something. Yeah. And just invoke some of that peacefulness. Or again, declutter your space and kind of sit to burn some incense or something and try to meditate and relax and try to calm down. Because this mental stress is the first thing that's got to go, at least temporarily. Now, there's always going to be stress. You may be someone who's prone to high stress levels. Okay? I think whatever you learn here with this 4 of Swords is going to help you in the future too, to sort of, to down-regulate that stress level. And this is also the card of your persona. Okay? This is the subjective vision of yourself. This is how you see you. This is how other people might see you. This is how, if I were to look at you, this is how I see you. Okay? I see you as somebody who's really stressed out, kind of has like a lot, is kind of like hectic. There's like a lot of like erratic movements and stuff, you know, like can't really figure out what to really do next. It's like you have a list of 50 things you got to do. And instead of just tackling them 1, 2, 3, you're kind of like you're trying to do 5 different things at once, and it's like, and then you mix things up and you put the keys in the refrigerator and you put the milk in the car or whatever. Like it's, you know, it gets all jumbled up. Things get disconnected. You know what I mean? There have been many times in my life where, for whatever reason, I put my car keys in the freezer. You know what I mean? Or I'll put I'll put my wallet somewhere, and it's a mess. We get sort of mixed up. Yeah. And this is how you sort of experience yourself. There's so much pressure inside of you. There's so many things you have to do that something inside of you is pushing you in every direction at once. Okay? Instead of doing things in that kind of step-by-step way, right? And anyway, the adjustment card and the environment, I think that is really the crux of the matter, okay? Because sometimes this is a shadow. Sometimes this is what you're avoiding. Sometimes this is the part of you that's buried in the vault of echoes. And it's connected with this card underneath, okay? And it could be that deep in your soul, you know what the problem is, but you're reluctant to make the decision. You're hesitating to realize that something is holding so much weight for you, and either it has to be let go to bring the scales back to, you know, balance, or that means that this is the choice that really outweighs all the other choices. It's something that you're not really yet admitting, or you're not maybe hearing it, okay? You're not yet acknowledging what that is. Because this is that part of you that you avoid. And this is the part of that higher wisdom and discernment choice. I know the right choice. Deep down in my soul, I know the right choice, but I'm going to keep trying to make it work. I'm going to keep searching for what is missing in this situation, or keep hoping that it gets here. Keep hoping that I find it, or that it gets created, okay? The Ace of Pentacles is the illusion, the mirage, the fear, okay? It's an obstacle. And it's the obstacle of having to start something over, start again. Maybe if this is a relationship, that we're reluctant to get out of a bad relationship because I don't want to have to start over. I don't want to have to then get to know somebody else, or go out on a date, or do that whole rigmarole. Okay, so this is that fear. The fear is that I can't start over. I don't want to start over. It's going to be too hard. It's too hard to take a step in a new direction. And in some ways, this is the fear, worry, and concern that just says, I know I've got to take a step and make a move, but I just don't know what move to make. Okay, so this feels like the most challenging card, and it's one footstep. Well, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one footstep, and the first step is usually the most difficult step. It gets easier. Once we get unstuck and we're able to take that first step, that feels like the weirdest step. Imagine like astronauts going out for a spacewalk, their first time leaving the space shuttle and looking down, whatever down means when you're in outer space, looking down from the spaceship door and then taking that first step out into like the vacuum of space. And it's just like, I'm not falling, and then you kind of you start to get your space legs or whatever. And it gets a little bit easier, and it gets a little bit more comfortable. Probably not that much more comfortable. I think the hostility of space, or the hostility of the deep, deep ocean, are probably two of the places in the universe that I can imagine where we can go, but we'll never really get super duper comfortable there. No matter how many times you do a spacewalk, I imagine it's still pretty scary, right? And the deep sea diving, maybe those are why those realms are two of my favorite like science fiction genres, like deep space and deep ocean. If you have any, please, if you have any recommendations for deep sea books, stories that take place, fiction that takes place in the deep, deep sea underwater, please let me know. I've been craving something like that, and I can't find anything that I haven't read yet. So please let me know, okay? But see, the first step is that, that thing is just, you got to jump into the water. You got to step out of the spacecraft. It's the most scary bit. And then it kind of gets a little easier, okay, to take the next step and to continue down that road and do what you got to do, repair the spaceship or go explore the wreckage or whatever it is. Fight the monster, I don't know. So, this is the mirage aspect of this card, though, is that you're not capable of making the next step. You're not capable of starting again. You're not capable of going your own way and you're the hermit, after all, remember. So you are capable of this. So the mirage, the illusion, is that you can't do it. The mirage is that you can't take a different step, that you can't, go a different way. Really, the illusion is that you're stuck. You're not stuck. Right, ultimately. So anyway, the final card, the destiny card, right? The shape of what wants to happen. Your heart knows what it wants to do. Okay? The page waiting to be written in the codex is literally the page of cups, or the princess of cups, following your heart, letting your emotions guide you. Right? Letting the light lift you up from the dark. Yeah. Letting love guide you. And so basically the emotion, the princess of cups, says, if what I'm searching for isn't here, well, I've got to just keep searching. I've got to keep going. It seems very simple. I think that you are being nudged. Okay. I think that, you are being guided by spirit. Yeah. I think that there are signs, symbols, synchronicities that are taking place in your life, dreams, urges, probably repeating numbers, probably like a certain phrase of a song that keeps echoing around you, like, this is the way you should go. You keep hearing it, okay? You keep seeing a certain type of door or a certain colored door or something like that, right? Or a certain motif, like a door slowly swinging open. And I feel, or you keep seeing keys or something like that. But it's some kind of a repeating symbol that's kind of letting you know, like, there's something you're ignoring, you got to pay attention. And I think when you calm down with that Four of Swords, and I know saying calm down is like, it's an insult. I hate it when people tell me when I'm anxious, they say, just calm down. I say, excuse me. It's not that easy because, you kind of want to say, like, look, if I could calm down, don't you think I would be doing it? So I understand. I understand the reluctance to say, okay, well, you're in an 8 of Wands. Well, just do a 4 of Swords, right? It's easy. It's not easy, but we need to try, okay? Because then we can start to see the signs. We can feel the nudges. Spirit is pointing you toward change. Your heart knows where it needs to go, and I think you need to listen. Now, let's look at our mystery card. Let's look at this hidden key. I don't even know what this could be. Maybe it could be a 2 for a choice, right? It could be an ace for like the intention. We're gonna begin. We're gonna move. We're gonna pick a direction. Maybe it's an Ace of Wands. It might be a 6 of Cups or a 6 of Pentacles. If you have a prediction, let me know. Let's see what it is. It's the King of Swords. It's a fixed air energy. Okay? Fixed air energy. Now, this can mean light and shadow, right? So fixed air and fixed earth, these are the same princes, kings. The fixed aspect. In other words, rigid, not moving. Your mind and your body fixed in place, stuck believing the same things we've always believed and behaving in the same way we've always behaved. Thoughts and behaviors are intimately linked. What your mind does, your body will do. What your mind believes, your body will create. Okay? We got to change what we believe, change the way we think about ourselves, change our mind, and we'll change our body. Okay? And maybe the Nine of Swords is an issue with your internal dialogue. Maybe you're not all that nice to yourself sometimes. Maybe it's a feeling like this is all I deserve, or I'll never find it, or this is as good as life will ever be, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe you need to change the way you talk to yourself, and you'll change the reality. You'll change your physical form. Your thoughts have an effect on your mind, or your body, I mean, right? The body and the mind are intimately connected. What you continue to think about is what your body will create. Okay. I think that this is also the light side of this card is that I think you're making a decision, and I think you're going to stick with it. I think you're going to see the path, you're going to perceive the signs, and you're going to go in that direction even when you have doubt, even when you feel uncertain, even when that first step feels very scary. Okay? You have the ability to fix your mind on what you want, to lock it in, basically, right? Not that it's broken, that's not what I mean. I mean to lock it in. Okay? I think that's what you need to do, because in a way it's sort of reminding us of our Four of Swords, finding that centeredness, finding the answer, finding the solution to where then we don't have to be stressed out about it anymore. We're going to alleviate the stress and the anxiety of our choice by just kind of getting centered, making a choice, and being at peace, accepting our choice, and moving forward with it with no doubt and no second guessing of ourselves. All right? Now, this transmission is going to continue beyond this gate. In the extended reading, we'll cast an I Ching hexagram, we'll draw from the oracle, and we'll open a new cluster of keys from the codex. If you feel called to continue, the path is open. There's a link in the corner. There's a link below this video. New transmissions for Virgo on Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to receive both. Subscribe if you haven't yet. It aligns your signal with the dove current and ensures your next page in the codex will find you. Leave a comment and let me know where along the spiral road you're watching from. It helps me to map the resonance of the temple. I want you to remember you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. The codex reveals itself through you. I thank you, I love you, and we are all walking this path together.